So you're thinking about relocating to the Pacific Northwest? Well, we get people every day asking us, hey, I really want the urban convenience, but I need community feel. And we have this neighborhood tour today and a home tour with something that's gonna check all those boxes. Stunning, beautiful neighborhood with local coffee shops, highly rated bikeability, and a diverse architecture of homes that I'm certain you are absolutely gonna love. And the home tour, let me tell you this, one of a kind, unique stunner, vintage with views. I cannot wait to show you. So with no further ado, let's get on with the tour. All right, so we're out here in the North Portland part of the city. What I love about North Portland is there's really a sense of community out here. We get a lot of people who are relocating to the Pacific Northwest and they say, hey Addie, hey Listy, we really want to feel diversity, feel the community, and have this sense of neighborhood, but we still want to be a part of the city and not so much maybe the suburbs. And I feel like North Portland really hits that. Specifically today, we are in Arbor Lodge. So what's unique about the North Portland area is it breaks down into 4 or 5 different communities. You've got Arbor Lodge, Overlook, Portsmouth, Kenton, and St. John's. So specifically, we are right in between I-5 and the St. John's Bridge right now. And today I have an awesome home that I cannot wait to show you. It hasn't been listed on the public market since the 1930s, and it has one of the best views that you can find in the North Portland area. So when we go through that, it's absolutely gonna blow your mind. 3,600 square feet, massive home, super Portlandia. I cannot wait to show you. So we're gonna throw that in the video today. But going back to the different communities, so the house that we're seeing today is right here in Arbor Lodge. Arbor Lodge, going to the community stuff, is a part of some different community associations. So the nice thing is, in these communities, there isn't an HOA. There's a couple of condo buildings that might have HOAs, but none of the neighborhood associations have a monthly fee. However, the community has a voice in the park and rec budget for each little quadrant in the North Portland area, which I think is absolutely awesome. I've actually lived in this part of town, not far from here, in the University Park area since 2018, and we've really grown to love it. The parks are probably my absolute favorite thing. We have a dog, so my dog demands 2 walks minimum per day, and we'll take him up to University of Portland, Columbia Park, and just tour around. And these parks are massive. I'm not talking like little dinker parks, but parks with huge 100-plus-year-old trees. Now, speaking of 100-plus, and I'm gonna get into the grocery, the day-to-day lifestyle, but quick history before we jump into that. What's really unique about this area is back in the 1930s, they built the St. John's Bridge, which connected the west side of Portland to the north side. Now, at its time, it was the largest bridge built west of Detroit in the 1930s. And what happened was the Great Depression hit, and they had set a budget of I think it was $4.2 million to build St. John's Bridge. They built it in 21 months and $1 million under budget because those were the only jobs in Portland at the time, which I think that's a really cool tidbit. They named it St. John's after James John, who was the original farrier. He would ferry people across the river. So this entire area, and we'll show you some drone, is on the bluff with just fantastic views looking out onto the Willamette River, into downtown, and north up into St. John's. And I'm gonna do a turnaround because I'm running out. Hey, what was I saying? So I think what's really cool about that history is all of the bluff at the base below the houses back in World War II was a lot of naval equipment and ships, and those were the jobs. So your working class all lived up on the bluff. Nowadays, What's down there? Ain't no naval ships. What we got is UPS, FedEx, Amazon. So I just find that extremely unique. Other key bits that really, outside of community and culture, that really retain the actual value of this neighborhood would be probably two kind of bookends. One would be Adidas is headquartered here. Adidas brings a lot of employees, contract jobs, so it's not only desirable for single family primary living, but also short term. You see a lot of basements converted out and rented for contract workers. So most people know Portland for Nike, but Adidas also has a US headquarters here as well, which I think is super cool. University of Portland. So you might be thinking, oh, Addie, you know, I don't want to live in a college neighborhood. It's really not like that. University of Portland was designed after Notre Dame aesthetically. It's beautiful brick layout, highly, highly coveted, and it is one of the top nursing schools in the entire United States. So it's more of a graduate school. There's a lot of serious students there, and they pay a lot of money. So don't think that you're gonna have a lot of like beer pong situations going on the front lawn with cans everywhere. Super clean, but with the university also brings some stability with values of homes and being able to rent them out to students if needed. So those are your kind of two bookends. Now going to the day-to-day, I would say about, I think it was 2004, Portland extended the Max Line light rail. It's called the Yellow Line. It moved from the Moda Center where the Portland Trailblazers play, and it comes all the way north, almost to the state of Washington, to the Expo Center. So that brought a lot of accessibility to the north part of Portland. And they also brought in not only one, but two new seasons and two Fred Meyer's or Kroger. You might not know Fred Meyer's, but Kroger grocery stores. So you can do all of your grocery shopping outside of Costco without getting on the freeway. That's a huge thing for me. I absolutely hate jumping on the freeway. If I can avoid it, I absolutely will. And North Portland, you can get right downtown without ever having to get onto I-5. You can take a street that's called North Greeley and zigzag your way all the way to downtown Portland on either side and take the bridge. Awesome tip there. Nextly is not even a word. So you have your grocery shopping and then you've got your socializing. So what are you gonna do in the day? What's great about here is there's a couple different awesome food cart pods. So one would be off North Greeley called Bottle and Can. Love that place. 4 or 5 different rotating carts. Go there, grab a drink, grab some food, hang out. Right across the street from that would be Madrona Coffee. It's a restored 100-plus-year-old warehouse turned into a really cute antique coffee shop. They have something called Umbria coffee, which is my favorite. It's actually the family of Umbria. It's based on an Italian, a sector in Italy, and the family brought the beans over in the company and started roasting them out of Seattle and the Portland area. It is absolutely great. If you like espresso like me, you've got to try Umbria coffee at Madrona Hill. They sell it in a couple different places, but I love it. It's absolutely delicious. Now, when it comes to actual real estate opportunities, what's really neat about North Portland, sorry, it's pretty nice today and I'm heating up with this blazer, might take it off. What's really nice about the real estate opportunities here is you're gonna have a wide range of not only different types of architecture, new and vintage. What we're gonna show you today on the home walk tour is probably the coolest vintage restored property I've seen, but there's all sorts of ranges of price as well as types. Brand new construction, townhomes, really modernized things that have been built in the last 5 to 10 years, but then your super charmer Portlandia ones with the porch and the cool colors. There's even a list of different Victorians. Like, my wife loves the Victorians. I will say one of the cool things about a lot of people in this neighborhood is they love gardening. They love taking care of their lawns and plants, and there's a lot of pride in having like raised beds and making your own produce. And it really makes for a super charming just neighborhood experience when it comes to like the spring to the summer to the early fall. And all this greenery that you see behind me, you see these big trees, they usually turn to an orange and red in that late October, early November. It's one of the most favorite times of the year. So before we go check out this awesome house I've been bragging about, let's recap really quick. We're in North Portland, right in Arbor Lodge on the edge of Overlook and University Park District, overlooking magnificent Willamette Valley. This view is awesome. I'm excited to show you this, but we're in North Portland. Awesome accessibility to groceries, social life, park, a lot of opportunity never to have to get onto the freeway if you don't want to. Price range, I didn't even say that. So you'd see things here in the starting point on the 450s all the way up to 1.5 million. A lot of different options. Now, if you're looking on Redfin or Zillow and you see those houses that are super, super cheap, quick tip for you, the reason is most of the time they only have one bathroom. So very rare to find someone that's okay with a one bathroom house. That's why you will see them. But you guys got to give us a call. So when it comes to relocating to the Pacific Northwest, we are the #1 Living in Portland channel. #1 relocation team, first team ever to start in 2017, 2018, and we absolutely love helping people get into homes. So whatever you got to do, it'd be an honor to hear your story and assist you with relocating to the Pacific Northwest. Now, with no further ado, let's go check out this house I've been bragging about. All right, we're finally here at the house as promised up in North Portland. Just to recap, we are right on the edge of Arbor Lodge and University Park with absolutely stunning views. In the description of this listing, it's vintage with views, and I'm stoked to show you this, so follow me. One of the features I want to point out before we go in, everyone, two main features, maybe three, you know me, there's always extra. This drought resistant landscaping. The thing to understand in Portland is everybody loves gardens and plants. And if you don't, you're at least going with a drought resistant landscaping style. And when I say drought resistance, I'm saying you don't have to water it every day. If you skip a week, go on vacation, forget, whatever, get busy, these plants aren't gonna die. I love this front area landscape. It is so unique, so charming, nicely matured. A lot of people don't think about this. They buy a new home and it takes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years to even get plant and growth on the yard. Kristen and I have been in our newer construction home for about 5, 6 years, and we're just starting to see some nice fill out. So you're gonna get into a home with all of this work, like unbelievable, tens of thousands of dollars to get this installed, growed, and get the water lines as well. Huge, huge, huge plus. And the little detailing of the landscape lighting next to the irrigation to the fill out is so charming. I'm gonna over talk about that for a minute. And then the next thing, within the last year and a half, a brand new roof, folks. This is massive for a couple different things. It's gonna save you 40, 50, 60K to replace the roof. It typically also lowers your insurance cost if you have a brand new roof. So having this brand new roof up here is incredible. You get right in, you don't have to worry about it. They also updated the AC unit. So once again, you know I'm very sensitive to costs, utilities, and all those things. We have brand new HVAC AC system, brand new roof, irrigation timer, beautiful landscaping. And as you can notice here, looking at, this is the Willamette Bluff. This is absolutely gorgeous, and we are right on this charming Portlandia style front porch living. I am telling you, so many people that we meet with. I literally just came from a coffee meeting yesterday, and the buyers wanted this Portland charm, the front porch with the patio chairs. They can sit out here. And what's incredible about this area is you're right next to Willamette Boulevard, which connects over to the University of Portland. This is the #1 place for biking and walking. Sorry about the flub. So during the summer, you're gonna see people out and about on their bikes, running with their dogs and getting exercise and enjoying the sun. And throughout the entire time, let's turn on the camera, you are overlooking this beautiful view. And down here is all the ports and the Coast Guard. Scappoose is up that way. You can actually see the St. John's Bridge from here. You might not get it on camera, but you can see the St. John's Bridge, and to the left is gonna be downtown. Absolutely stunning. And I have never actually seen a front porch of this size. I mean, how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably about 65 to 70 feet of patio here. Just absolutely fantastic. So don't forget, I'm gonna go over property tax, price, and all the details. I will give out a little secret up front. No HOA here. I know my people like that. So let's go take a look inside. Gotta take off the shoes. Okay, for all those vintage lovers, you're gonna drool over the way that this house is laid out with the different colors in the furniture. Coming right in here, we are going to have the living room. And once again, that patio that I showed you, you're extending all of the life right there. Just looking right out, we have the same views we talked about on the entryway. You can fit a full sectional in here. I would maybe even have this the other way and do a non-TV living room, but that's your choice. Original 1930s tile, super charming. They've converted that over to a gas fireplace to make it more energy efficient. Loving this mantle and the built-ins. And once again, such charming little vintage finishes. And the windows, I'm not gonna fiddle with them out of respect, but look how cute this is. It's got this little original window locks so they can open up. I'm just not, I know I'm gonna do something wrong, so I'm not gonna try to open it. But those open and you get some fluid air in here in the summers. Folks, we've talked about this multiple times. In Portland, people absolutely love the diversity of the weather. But when you get summer, you hit about June, which where we're at now, June all the way to late September, late October sometimes, you're gonna wanna be taking advantage of the beauty and the outdoor space. So that patio, the backyard, which I cannot wait to show you, it's incredible, are really gonna be characteristics that expand your experience living in the home. So, couple things we're gonna roll through. This home has a downstairs and an upstairs, 6-bedroom, over 3,700 square feet if we're including the basement, which is probably one of the best basements I've seen for a home of this age. But let's roll over here to how we go from the living room into a little office here. Super charming little corner office. Once again, you've got the views off into the bluff, and then you're overseeing your driveway here. Very, very, very peaceful. Could be a reading room, an office room, a game room. And this flows into what was converted from a bedroom. So you could have primary living bedroom right here, but it looks like they've used this for a bigger office. So kind of a sitting area, reading area with a desk area behind. This room has your closet right here, and you're looking out onto your driveway here. But even off this chair, I can still see the views out there. It just has so much light. Originally, I was kind of worried about coming to show this home because it was a little overcast, and often when we get these vintage older homes, there's not a lot of light, so the video's not that great, but there's a lot of natural light for a more overcast day, which is a great, great sign. More natural light, better views, moods, and energy. Coming into here, we have our original bathroom tub with the tile up and an independent sink here. And this actually closes off and extends over to the kitchen. So, follow me. Now this kitchen, most of the time when you're going to these vintage homes, the kitchen's gonna be super narrow and blocked off. This is incredibly open, wild space, nicely updated quartz top. I love that kind of gray on gray with the white. I don't think it would have worked if the cabinets were white. I really like that we go dark, mid to an off kind of white. Updated stainless refrigerator, as well as the stove top, the kitchen, and the dishwasher. I just love how much space this is, because this gives some room to operate and get the vibes going. Lastly, just talking to the owners and reading through the notes, this breakfast nook is probably the most utilized part, because you're gonna have your cereal, your morning coffee, the kiddos, you and the wife, and it's got this cute little seating area, and ooh, it's nice and warm, and you're looking out onto this amazing backyard, which I'm gonna show you soon. But imagine your mornings here. You're just nestling up, having your little coffee or a little yogurt, granola and fruit, and just nice and cozy, but still spacious at the same time. Now I'm gonna offshoot to the dining room really quick. Don't get confused, I did a weird loop around, that's my bad. But when we first walked in, this dining room is right off the living room. Now, check this out. I know sometimes dining rooms are reserved for like special nights and holidays and all that stuff. This might be used more than one would think. This is a 6-seater that easily could go to an 8 quite easily with a leaf. Once again, 1, 2, 3 windows, letting in some natural light. This is really, really cool. I'm digging the bubblegum pink. I didn't even notice that, but the way this is designed, it really just ties together very well with the organic wood furniture, the wicker back chairs, and vintage artwork. Fantastic. Little feature here, they've updated this to a smart thermostat. So we have brand new roof, brand new HVAC system, AC, all managed with the smart thermostat. So once again, we're controlling the environment through the ease of our phone and saving money on utilities. So this, as I said, this brought us back. So we started the beautiful views, the beautiful landscaping, the massive 60 to 70 foot front patio porch with the air flowing living room, updated gas fireplace to save you money, and we've just done a big circle. So that's gonna be your primary living in this gorgeous home. Now, I'm gonna show you the other floors and the backyard, which I can't wait to show you. As an outdoor gardening person, I'm just like jaw dropped. But let's head upstairs and see what we have in the living quarters. So coming up here, and bear with me, we don't have our light, so it feels a little bit dark, but you have original refinished hardwood floors, which a lot of people love. Like, you aren't seeing this in a lot, with the little tiny nails, and it's just really beautiful. You're probably hearing a little bit of the tiny squeaking, because it's older and it's beautiful, it has so much charm. But take a look at just one of the bedrooms. For a vintage home, this is a massive, massive bedroom. You're fitting 2 full beds here with plenty of space. You could do another desk. And of course it has a fantastic closet in there. Not oversized, but not tiny. Be a great, great, great kids room or guest room. And with these charming vintage ones, you're gonna see stuff like this, a little built-in storage area. You put towels and extra things for guests or kiddos. It's all that little stuff you don't even think about. You're not getting many built-ins anymore. We have our larger bedroom. You could use this as your primary rather than the one downstairs. This is not a king. This is 2, I'm not sure what that is.
I think it's a king.
I think it might be a king. It might be a king. Yeah, but that's a king. So I thought it was wide enough to be a king, but I didn't know it was long enough. Windows out. This patio here, it's not a walk-off patio. When Kristen and I first walked through it, we're like, oh, can you walk out on that? I think you could, but you don't want to because it's actually the roof to the patio from the entry area. But still, lots of light, beautiful view. You're looking out on the St. John's Bridge and the bluff. Absolutely charming. I love the way this is styled. A very, very, very large walk-in closet. It's a little bit dark in here, but you've got a lot of space for the his and hers. And then we couldn't figure out, there's an additional little secret closet within a closet. I don't know if I want to go in there, but oh, access to the attic. That's how you get up there. Kristen just helped me out with that, my lovely wife who's filming us today. Thank you. And then another closet right in here. So this is a lot of space. You could do a lot with this. Let's transition into the rest of the upstairs. Don't forget, I gotta show you, we have an amazing downstairs, one of the best downstairs basements I've seen in one of these vintage homes, and my personal fave, the backyard. So we showed you the 2 rooms. Right here we have the upstairs bathroom, updated with tile on the floor, and then tub up to ceiling tile. They did a nice touch with the frosted windows in here, so you have some privacy. Built-in, modern or updated built-in cabinetry for plenty of storage. Liking the sink here, and then they kept this built in, so you get even extra storage. So all those products, all those cleaning chemicals, things like that. They have a nice tidy little area. You can see probably an old laundry chute. We were chatting before, it's either this or this. It's converted into storage, but I think that's where your chutes were. Might have even been a little elevator thing at one point. This is really nice. You've got a window setting letter desk area. I think this is a nice little spot. I don't know if I guess if you had really good cord management, you could set up a modern workstation there, but nobody wants like what I have, where there's 4 or 5 different monitors and then cords everywhere. You want to keep that a little cleaner. Up here, we have another bedroom. Once again, look at those windows. It feels like a tree house in here, but still super private. I can see like an outline of the neighbor's yard, but I can't see anything in there because it's full, mature, and grown. They put a desk in here for staging. I don't know if I would really put the desk at this angle, but it's good for just visual purposes. And that puts together the upstairs. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show this on video, but there's a ton of original finishes like this. Like look at this copper finished vent topper. You're seeing all the restored, very cool vintage light fixtures blended in with the color palettes of the walls and the hardwoods. It's incredible. So let's head down to that basement. I'm excited to show you that because I'm curious what you would do with it. And then don't forget, we have the backyard. So we're heading down and we gotta be careful walking down the stairs because, you know, I get distracted and then all of a sudden I might trip or fall. A feature we didn't talk about from the upstairs to downstairs. Privacy door. I'm only saying privacy because I was watching a Netflix series and Europeans seem to call privacy, so I'm going with that lately. But that is nice. You think about it, like everyone's had like guests over and you're still hanging out and having fun in the living room, but someone in the family needs to go to bed early, party pooper. We have the party pooper noise stopping door, which is super nice. I'm just being sarcastic, but it is convenient to isolate the noise. So we're gonna head downstairs. At this, I'm gonna get downstairs. Once again, recap, front door right here off the patio, living room, cool dining room with the pastel vintage bubblegum paint, wrap through the kitchen. Once again, airing out this kitchen by the breakfast nook, families feeling it, the exterior of the gardens, just, I'm loving the energy coming through the windows here, going downstairs. Now, one thing that I do, and I'm gonna attempt something I usually don't, is to walk down backwards. What I really like about this basement is the attention to detail of the fully finished parts of it. So for example, like these stairs, they're really wide and they're painted. Usually when you have a vintage basement, it's super narrow and it's like, this is nice and wide. Like we could move furniture down here really easily without needing to be professional movers. And it just, look at this. It just makes for a super clean experience. This could easily, as you probably watched in our Laurelhurst video, be turned into a fully rentable space. And this feels to be about 11 to 1,200 square feet down here if I were to guess. But look, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 8 person sectional couch with the TV entertainment center. Enough room here for a foosball and a ping pong table. So if you were using this for family, you know you're having all the fun down here. You're having the games and everything, and it's all down here. All the noise stays down here. What I love about the basement too, and I'll show you all the windows, they've added the egress windows so we're compliant and safe. And also, guess what? Full washroom closet, laundry, washer, dryer. This is a lot of space for washer and dryer area. Also in the show notes, not the show notes, the listing notes, the owners are leaving the original paint. So you notice that really cool split pea soup with the burgundy trim. They're leaving that paint for touch-ups and stuff, which I thought was really cool. It's just the little details. So if you were to convert this into a rental or an independent apartment, which you definitely could, we would need to figure out a laundry situation upstairs, which is something we have contractors and people that would bust that out all the time, but that just came to mind. I thought it was worth mentioning. The upstairs fireplace connecting down here, there probably was something here originally. I didn't ask, but I think this brick is really cool with some original built-ins here. But we not only have all of that space, which is approximately 700 or 800 square feet, we have 1 and 2 extra bedrooms. Not a lot to show off here, but closet, full egress for safety, all compliant. This actually, for me, would be probably like a podcast studio or an office. It's really rare to have this much light in an underground basement, thanks to that window update. Charming little tub to ceiling, tile, all updated, plenty of room here, your sink and goodies. Another room, once again, not a lot to show here because it's not staged, but look at that egress out to the side of the house. And then you have this very, very, very cool and large closet here. Love that, very interesting. I would love to see what this was like in the 1930s when it was first established, or I guess when the basement was built out and how it was like, because you can see these little things like the French door closet, the built-ins, the brick fireplace, all of this at one point was laid out a certain way. But really well done and clean, everybody. You don't see that in a lot of basements, and I'm 6 feet tall, so we got 8-foot ceilings, no problem. We're not crouching or anything. Now we're gonna head upstairs and check out the exterior, which is my absolute favorite. You're gonna love it. Can't wait to show you, so let's go. Now, going out here, before we get to the backyard, look how cute this little garden mudroom alley is. This is so cool. I really wish I had that. I mean, there's a garden hat off the hook. You can go out here, you could do your starter plants. This is a really cool, I don't know what that is, like a prickly pear. But you could do your starter plants right here, get everything going. Look at this, is so charming. I love this little mudroom. Bringing the dog in from a walk, the kids, you're taking off your muddy shoes, but you can look out here and look at your garden. So coming down here to show you this backyard, we're off to the side of the house. So where we first started this video was up here, and then this is the driveway in. One of my favorite things, I'm super jealous, is this matured vine out. It is just super charming. They look like little grapes or something. It's just so cool. You don't see that very often. In order to get something like this, you're talking 7 to 12 years of growth easily. And then you have your detached garage. So really traditional, cool detached garage. Still a ton of privacy. Coming into the backyard here, I think they updated a metal gate. I'm really liking that. It might be original, I don't know. It's painted green, I really love it. But look at this space, it's so charming. You have a little walking area around the sides and those pines that actually goes into the garage over here. It just kind of misted, so I don't know if I want to walk onto the grass. Yeah, I do. Well, coming back here, this little patio area, I gotta flip this camera around. The little patio area behind me is so cool. You could set up your fireplace and hang out here. A little gazebo. If this was our house, I know we would be building out on this and probably bringing it all the way to the house. But it's so charming. What you're seeing here too is a lot of this like ground cover and fill in landscapes. It takes so long to grow that. You don't just get into a house and have this awesome built out garden and decor and vibe instantly. It takes a really long time. So coming along here, the house wraps all the way around to this little trail and back up to the patio. And these owners here made this little garden shed, which actually looks like you could have chickens there if you wanted. Access to your irrigation and system flow, the updated HVAC, all there. And you can see that's where that basement is running down there. Looks like they have their smart switcher going for all the lights. Really updated WAC landscape lighting. This stuff, Kristen and I put in, we're in the middle of our irrigation. We already did our own personal landscape. It's a lot of work, guys. Like, we're talking weekends of weekends, and you're getting this all dialed in, professionally installed. Super incredible. So that is the exterior walkthrough. Let's go back up and talk about what everyone wants to know, the price, the taxes, and maybe some costs as well. All right, as promised, let's break down that price, the property taxes, and all the things you need to know. So, quick recap, the stunning views, incredible views, incredible views. They were so incredible, I said incredible wrong. Of the St. John's Bridge downtown and the gorgeous bluff off North Willamette Boulevard. We're in Arbor Lodge on the crest of University District. Very, very quiet area for a viewpoint. Most of the time, these homes are gonna be crowded up and a little bit noisier. This home had the absolutely gorgeous, stunning, full irrigation system, all the infill landscaping. I'm gonna value that at easily around a $10,000 upgrade if you were to buy all these plants, pay maybe even more. I'm trying to underestimate that. So much money, time, and energy put into the full length exterior. Love that. Brand new roof, replaced in the last year and a half. Big savings there. New HVAC and AC system, huge. I'm not sure exactly how much to put on that, anywhere between probably $15K for the HVAC system and another maybe 15 to 20K for the roof alone. So tons of savings there. We're gonna put that at 40 to 50 grand of savings. Now this house at 6 bedrooms with the built out downstairs, the updated kitchen, that cozy little breakfast nook, the gorgeous gardening mudroom area, the upstairs with multiple bedrooms and an updated bathroom. This is listed here at $999,000. So round up $1 million for this property. Absolutely fantastic deal. When it comes with the property taxes, they're assessed at just over $10,000 a year, which if you watch my other videos, I've always spoke, you're looking at the 1% rule. So that's right in line with the asking price of the home that's always a good box to check. Now, so to close it out, if this is a place of which you could see yourself, you want the views and the vintage, you gotta give us a call. Our team is the #1 relocation team for the Pacific Northwest, the original YouTube channel here, and we absolutely love making these videos for you. But if you're planning to move or buy or sell, you gotta give us a call. Reach out and introduce yourself. We are your resource for everything Pacific Northwest in real estate. So till next time, I hope you go ahead and catch another one of our videos.